Herzl magic. What is it? To me, it's a nature walk in the early morn. It's oak and pine, the crisp, damp air, and all God's beautiful creatures starting their day. Abe, Estelle, looking good Pinchas. But there's another type of Herzl magic. I call it magical magic. It's the magic behind the magic. And like sunlight or rain, it gives life and makes everything else possible. Magical magic is generosity plus devotion times enthusiasm. It's the sum of the efforts of countless Herzl supporters expressed in so many meaningful ways. And while each day at Herzl Camp is a celebration of the legacy of every booster, backer, ally, and advocate, this ceremony recognizes those whose contributions go above and beyond.
Well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah.
So now we honor the 6 newest inductees into the Herzl Camp Hall of Fame. Hallelujah. People often tell me that Herzl has a unique feel. And when I ask what they mean by that, they'll say they can't really explain it, but that being at Herzl just feels like camp. I might say it feels like camp because it is a camp, and they'll say, well, yes, but it's something more. Now, we'll bat that idea around a bit because that's how it's done, and in the end, I get it. That beneath the surface of orange cabins and dirt roads lie memories of best friends and night walks, of campfires and first crushes. And it's those memories that awaken and stir when one revisits the shores of Devil's Lake. So yes, Herzl does feel like camp. The same way a childhood house feels like a home. It's only fitting, then, that for much of its first decade, Herzl bore the address of an idyllic plot of land in rural Wisconsin and a duplex in West St. Paul. Because while today Herzl's day-to-day business is managed from a swanky suite in trendy St. Louis Park, its initial HQ was the modest home of Cecilia Rose and Irving Waldman. In 1945, when the Rosenthals hipped the Waldmans to their dream of creating an inclusive Zionist summer camp, the Waldmans did what came naturally. They gave of themselves, totally and unconditionally. Despite raising young children, Cecilia and Irving recruited campers and staff, secured vendors, garnered supplies, arranged transportation, etc., etc., etc. And even after Herzl was well established, the Waldmans kept on giving.
So much a part of who my parents were was everybody is included. When they'd go up to Herzl for Visitors Day, whether or not any of us were campers, they didn't bring enough food for the family. They brought enough food for the camp. And any kid who didn't have a visitor, or any staff member who wasn't there and had no place to go, that was our blanket. And that's just who they were.
Going to camp and learning and being part of a Jewish environment while you're having fun, that was part of their dream, I think, is to make it fun and make it impactful at the same time.
While Cecilia and Irving were instrumental in laying Herzl's foundation and helping to establish the camp's spirit and soul, Jeff Shakman has worked tirelessly to ensure that 7 decades later, Herzl remains true to its roots as an accessible, kosher, Shabbat-observant Zionist organization. Jeff's impact on Herzl has been felt for nearly 60 years. There's his obvious influence as one-time president of the board, but there have been many other, less formal positions, beginning with his term as director for a day, where Jeff, as a camper, rambled through Herzl in the mid-20th century version of a golf cart. undoubtedly enacting many imaginative and short-lived reforms. But of all the responsibilities Jeff has assumed over the years, arguably the most meaningful is his unofficial role as Herzl's unremittingly dogged advocate.
I'm very fond of saying that we manufacture mensches in Webster, Wisconsin. And to some people, they don't understand what that means. To me, it means that we really teach kids that they can explore anything they want in any way that they want without fear of somebody saying, why are you making that decision? Why is that a good thing or bad thing to do? My own involvement is solely because I really believe that kids and staff come out of their Herzl experience much better people. One of the most important tenets at Herzl Camp is we always give kids a second chance, or a third chance, or a fourth chance in some cases. We have a history of always providing kids a place to go where they can be successful. And making a kid who doesn't feel successful in a summer, that's a great outcome. So if you ask why I'm involved, it's all about the outcomes.
Jeff Shakman is a piece of Herzl's all-important institutional memory, as is Donna Levitan. First as a camper, then as office staff, then counselor, Donna grew up internalizing the values and traditions of the joyous Judaism at the core of Herzl Camp. For all the contributions Donna has made to camp, as Chanut manager, to Kadima director, bunking coordinator, to program director, one of her most important was when, as board president, she led staff and community leaders in a 40-ish year Herzl Camp self-assessment. The results of that meeting, a recommitment to Herzl's core values, paved the way for Herzl to offer to future campers the rich, rewarding experience it had already offered to so many.
What am I most proud of? At a very basic level, that it's still there. Because I watched over the years and then was on the board in later years where camp was in jeopardy. Not until the most recent generations and the most recent leadership have we been able to do something about assuring that physically the plant is there, and physically, because it's there, then camp can respond to the needs of kids today.
Bob Ezrilov says the less said about Bob Ezrilov, the better. All right, Bob, it's your night. I'll roll the clip.
We can't do that, Jim.
Sorry, Bob Ezrilov, you made your bed. For those who don't know, Bob Ezrilov doesn't like the spotlight. Well then, Bob, maybe you shouldn't have earned it. Maybe you shouldn't have inserted yourself into the business of fortifying Herzl's structural and financial future. Maybe you shouldn't have been integral to the success of Herzl's capital campaign. Maybe you should have thought twice before revitalizing the Herzl Camp Foundation. Do you hear what I'm saying to you, Bob Ezrilov? Yes, campers enjoy their sturdy Nutsri theme. The staff, their bigger, better programming spaces, and families appreciate the myriad scholarship opportunities. Yes, it's wonderful that Herzl will remain Herzl into the foreseeable future, but Bob Ezrilov, you could have let someone else do it. But you just couldn't, could you?
When I see the good that results from what goes on as a part of camp, I can't imagine anything that I could be doing that would feel more worthwhile than being able to help participate and help do whatever I can to keep the camp robust, keep it from ever being in a position of at risk of not having the opportunity for increased scholarships, to keep the cost of tuition as low as it can be. It's not important what my time is compared to the good that really can come out of the camp.
In 2007, while walking through Herzl with his young son, Todd Geller noticed that physically camp was falling apart. Todd thought to himself some variation of, "Oh no! This camp is falling apart! Somebody should do something about it! Who's in charge here?" Cut to 2016. 2 new Hawks, 25 new cabins, staff housing, a minute building, new staff lounge, Ozomo and dorm, an indoor gym, expanded infirmary, and remodeled amphitheater and waterfront. And who made this happen? A lot of people. But a crucial part of the story, particularly for our purposes tonight, begins with Todd thinking to himself something like, hey, I know a little something about commercial real estate and construction, and I don't have much on my calendar for the next 10 years. I love meetings, and I've been meaning to spend a lot more time in my car.
I think what I'm most proud of is the fact that we were able to do this in a way that really didn't change the feel of Herzl. We took a piece of the old Herzl cabins and we buried a piece under every new cabin that exists there. It was our way of kind of tying the old to the new, and I think it's a meaningful thing.
Earlier, I opined about the unique feelings that Herzl evokes in its campers, young and old, and how those feelings are tied to warm memories. Today, we honor 6 Mensches who, more than most, are responsible for enabling, nurturing, and preserving those memories. For that, Hall of Fame class of 2017, we say